And a local community group is trying to fulfill the new essential school supply, which has become mask donations. We'll show you how you can help coming up. Also, one of Springfield's favorite music venues announces it will keep its doors open. We'll have that good news story and more this hour for you here on Daybreak. Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in to the second hour. It is Thursday, July 9th. I'm Joe Morano. Thank you for joining us. Jennifer Abreu has the morning off, but meteorologist Elisa Raffa is here, and we've been talking over the last few days that the forecast has been the same. It's been hot, it's been sunny and muggy the whole way through. We're getting some change this morning, but people do need to watch out a little bit, right? Yeah, we've got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for damaging wind. So make sure you've got that Color 10 weather app handy. I knew exactly when the watch was issued overnight because it was right on my phone. And how long are we in the current watch right now? It goes until 10 o'clock this morning, and the threat is mainly for some damaging winds to 60 or 70 miles per hour. So it does include Greene County and counties back to the west, where we've got that potential for damaging winds as that line continues to surge south and eastward. So right now we've got it in eastern Kansas. We're not really finding anything in our counties just yet. Everything is still back to the east. We have found observed winds at 53 miles per hour back in Chanute, Kansas. So again, everything just back to our east. It's 74 degrees in Joplin. Oh, I'm sorry, back to our west. It's 74 degrees in Joplin and 73 in Springfield. It is humid this morning and steamy. That's what's fueling this line of stronger storms. So you'll feel that out there as you head out. So you might have some wet roads once this line of storms gets through. Some spottier storms possible this afternoon. So at the pool, you'll need to watch out today. We might have some hit and miss showers and storms this afternoon, with temperatures up around 90 degrees. So tracking a severe thunderstorm watch and additional storm chances today and part of the weekend. Then the next big story is going to be extreme heat building next week. We're talking highs in the middle and upper 90s, feeling much hotter than that. So we'll talk about that in detail coming up in 10 minutes. Joe? A $100 fine for not wearing a face covering is part of the new ordinance Springfield City Council members are voting on coming up on Monday. We've got some details this morning about what it entails. It would require anyone older than 11 to wear a face covering in public. Anyone with health conditions or who have trouble breathing are exempt. You don't have to wear one outside as long as you're 6 feet away from other people. Also, the ordinance does set up fees for violation. Steve Edwards of Cox Health says the time to put in a masking ordinance has come.
We want to be that community that does it before it's too late. There's really compelling science that if we have 60 to 70% of our community masking when appropriate, we can disrupt the rate of transmission of this disease. If we have 80%, it's better, 90% better yet.
There are numerous exemptions to this. We have the full ordinance for you to read available on ozarksfirst.com. Again, council will be voting on this on Monday. We also have some new COVID-19 exposures to tell you about. 4 positive cases visited several Springfield restaurants over the last 2 weeks, including Roost Bar and Grill on West Sunshine and Houlihan's on East Republic. 21 new cases and 1 death have been reported in Greene County yesterday. Again, all those details are up on ozarksfirst.com for you. A local group that helps low-income families is asking for mask donations to be a part of school supplies. They'll be given to students who pick them up next month. OCAC is focusing on providing masks to kids in 6 of its 10 counties. Those include Barry, Christian, Dade, Dallas, Greene, and Polk. There are 4 other county partners with other organizations to help provide supplies there. Lindsay Dumas-Bell at OCAC says the organization is getting lots of calls from people who want to donate.
Schools have not necessarily said that masks will be required, but I know for summer school currently, a lot of our schools have said that they are recommended. So we just want families to be prepared if it is the case that masks are required, and we just want kids to be safe. But if we can take the burden off the cost of a mask and school supplies for the families that we serve, that's what we want to do.
Masks of all sizes work, and donations should be made by the end of July. If you want more info to donate, you can call them at 873-3375. And some news around the region for you. Fayetteville, Arkansas's Board of Health has concerns about university students returning in the fall. Board members discussed the city's role in keeping the community safe as tens of thousands get set to come to Fayetteville. Huda Sharaf with the board says Northwest Arkansas is already seeing a shortage of resources, at one time reporting just 42 ICU beds available for the entire region. And she worries if the population increases as it does when school starts up, that good resources could become scarce if infections increase.
If we bring in 20 to 30,000 additional persons, they become infected, and then they expose vulnerable populations on our campus and in our communities. And then if the medical resources in our local area are already taxed, and then those become saturated, how about the residents of Fayetteville? Like when we become ill, where are we supposed to go?
She also says she has been in ongoing communication with administrators at the university as well as state health officials to discuss these concerns. But the board agrees strength comes in numbers when making a plan.
It's just so cool to see this city support one another because we know it's important. It's important. The arts are important, especially right now. They help us get through hard times and they can bring community together.
In the past month, the Springfield community has raised thousands for the Outland, and it has announced in a Facebook post that they're in a good position now to stay open. They also mentioned they'll be under new management. David Chazanoff has our story this morning.
To concert goers,
I've been going to the Outland for 14 years.
And performers,
Over 10 years.
last night's Facebook post was music to their ears.
I actually took a deep breath and I was like, okay, that's cool.
I was really shocked. I wasn't sure if it was, how this was going to come about. But to have this place is a sanctuary.
According to the post, the former owners are taking a break after 17 years. The bar will be transferred to Kevin Dunn of the Baracas Group.
Baracas music group is a really cool studio in town, and it's going to be a cool collaboration. Me and Seth put a lot of time into the Outland, and we are really honored to carry the torch and bring it to the next stage.
Not much will change in the next stage, but things will look cleaner.
Starting with the front of the building, just make it look more appealing. All the floors will be nice. Just some cosmetic things.
It's an approach fans appreciate.
I'm glad that the new ownership is going to keep it true to the community that already existed here and not try to build something new.
Something new would replace what many call home.
When it is open, it is more home than my home. Everyone here is amazing.
It's just a really nice, comfortable place to be and perform.
Collins says he plans to keep things that way.
Most importantly, a safe space for people, anybody, color, it doesn't matter, whoever you are, just a safe space for people to come to.
David Chazanoff, Ozarks First.
Collins says ideally he'd like the Outland Ballroom to open in mid-August, but of course they'll be keeping in mind the city's COVID-19 regulations.
We're starting out with a severe thunderstorm watch this morning. A line of storms is diving south and east. Not seeing anything here yet locally, but we'll have a look at storm chances for today and extreme heat for next week, all coming up next.
Caller 10 Ozarks First. Jennifer Abreu, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Caller 10 News Daybreak. And now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa, certified by WeatherRate for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Good morning. We are starting out with a severe thunderstorm watch this morning for Greene County and counties back to the west, where we've got a line of showers and storms diving near the Ozarks, and it's capable of damaging winds. So again, that's a severe thunderstorm watch going until 10 o'clock. Here's that line diving just to the south of Wichita now. It's just over the border from us. Still not really finding much in the way of storms here locally, but we are finding some wind gusts over 50 miles per hour being reported in Chanute, some heavy rain and lightning in there. We're finding some isolated storms up near Butler and Nevada along the I-49 corridor, but again, we're not really seeing that line come through just yet, but it is getting close to some of those counties to the south and west of Springfield. So tracking that line diving south and east, it does have some fuel to work with, and you feel it as you step out the door. It's going to feel steamy even at 6 o'clock in the morning. It will feel steamy out there, and that's what's fueling the stronger storms. Some damaging winds likely as that line continues to progress south and eastward. So that southwest corner of our area could find some damaging winds possible. It could have some isolated storms bubble up this afternoon as well, maybe with some quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So that line continues to progress south. I think by noon we're done with it. It's out of the area and really weakened. We'll find those temperatures around 90 degrees today with some clouds and maybe an isolated storm. Couple of showers and storms overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon looks pretty dry, maybe a storm or two, just pretty hot. So I think we'll get a break from the storm chances tomorrow. Healthier storm chances return on Saturday with another wave coming through, so you've got a marginal risk there. Again, expect some damaging winds and large hail possible this morning, maybe a few storms this afternoon, and then you're dry on Friday. Another wave of storms comes in Saturday, and the next big story is going to be extreme heat that builds going into next week. So the pattern stays active through the weekend. Again, we're probably dry tomorrow with some storms at times Saturday and into Saturday night. We are dry again on Sunday because we'll start to find this high starting to nudge into the area. Big dome of heat and humidity, area of high pressure, is going to just sprawl out across much of the country next week, which will kill rain chances and really crank the heat. We're talking about temperatures in the middle and upper 90s, 96 degrees on Tuesday, 97 degrees on Wednesday, and then factor in the humidity. That heat index will be probably well over 105 to 110 degrees. So if you don't really have a spot to stay cool, make sure you think of one before next week. 90 degrees today, some showers and storms possible. 70 degrees overnight tonight with a couple of storms possible there as well. 92 degrees tomorrow, probably a dry day, sunny and hot and sticky. A couple of showers and storms on Saturday. Probably get a little relief on Sunday where it might not be as hot. And then the heat starts to crank on Monday and becomes extreme headed into the middle of next week. So again, remember, just check on elderly, pets, kids. They are most susceptible to heat sickness.
All right, let's see what celebrities are celebrating the big birthday on today, July the 9th. We've got Tom Hanks up on the board first right now. Of course, you know him from everything.
He's like legendary. He was incredible in Sully. Loved that movie.
Could you pick a favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Probably Sully.
Yeah.
It was so good. Toy Story, of course. Like, he's just incredible. Everything he does is amazing.
How old is he, though? What do you think? I'm going to go
77?
I'm going to go 67.
Oh, really? No.
Well, neither one. Did we get it in the middle?
Wow.
We did not. 64. Wow. All right. Don't know how you want to take that knowledge going into this next one here, but we've got Fred Savage also up for you right now. You know him from the Wonder Years. You know him from The Princess Bride. You know him from Austin Powers. Big-time director, too. He directs a lot of stuff. What do you think?
Isn't he? He's not Boy Meets World, is he?
That's his brother.
Ah.
Yeah, so he's older.
He's the older brother from Boy Meets World.
So if you happen to know Ben Savage's age, go
Ben Savage is the younger brother.
Let's see. I'm going to say this guy is
45?
53. What do you think? Oh, boy, 44. All right. Not too bad. Pretty close this time.
Okay.
Happy birthday to our viewers out there, too. Zach Starnes, happy
Hey.
birthday to you.
Friend of Daybreak. Happy birthday, Zach.
Yeah, Lindsay Brooke Frazier as well, Jennifer Christensen, Kathy Hill all celebrating, and Rick and Pat Hill celebrating 49 years together. Congratulations, guys. If you want your name up here, just send it on over to birthdays@color10.com. We are talking Cardinals in sports up next.
And now, sports on Color 10 News.
The St. Louis Cardinals taxi squad is scheduled to have its first workout a week from today at Hammons Field. The Cardinals also released a partial 12-player roster already set to come to Springfield. Coming to Summer Camp South will be June's first and second round picks, third baseman Jordan Walker and pitcher Mason Wynn. 2018 first-rounder Nolan Gorman will also be here in town. This is happening as workouts continue at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and the team plans to hold its first inter-squad game today.
I think the fact that it's such a diverse roster, you're going to have people down in Springfield that have played in the big leagues. You're going to have people down in Springfield that are trying to get back to the big leagues. This is going to be a much different education than what they would have traditionally gotten. And in some ways, this might be a more unique one that you can prosper from. So I really feel like from just like an opportunity standpoint from these young men, that this is something that you could argue is like priceless.
I think baseball coming back in any way is priceless as well right now. Good morning. We're starting out with a severe thunderstorm watch. It goes until 10 o'clock for Greene counties and counties back to the west as a line of storms is nearby with some damaging winds. It's diving through eastern Kansas this morning. We'll probably clip some of our south and west counties here shortly. It's got lots of lightning and heavy rain, some reported gusts over 50 miles per hour in Chanute. Not really finding any storms here yet locally. It's 73 degrees in Springfield and 73 degrees in Branson. Really humid out there this morning, which is what's fueling these storms so early in the morning. Out on the patio today, you'll have a couple of showers and storms possible, so just be aware and listen for any thunder and lightning. Head inside if you hear any of that thunder. The best chance for some of those damaging winds is going to be to the south and west today as that line of storms dives through the area. You're looking at some damaging winds and quarter-size hail possible. So this line continues to progress southward. I think we're done with it after midday. Maybe a few storms this afternoon and hot around 90 degrees. A couple of storms possible tonight. And then by tomorrow, you're looking at a mostly dry day, sunshine, and maybe an isolated storm chance. So we get a break from the storms tomorrow, and then we'll find some showers and storms possible again on Saturday. You have a marginal severe risk there. So expect some damaging winds possible this morning. A few storms possible this afternoon. Another wave of storms on Saturday, and the story of next week is going to be extreme heat. Temperatures in the middle and upper 90s, feeling like 105 to 110.
Still ahead, the president is threatening to hold back funding from schools if classes don't have students return in the fall. We'll show you how teachers and parents are responding when Daybreak continues. We have some big news in education coverage for you. Missouri's State Board of Education has passed 2 emergency rulings. It will allow school districts to let students attend class in person every other day, at least 2 times a week. The other time will be spent online. The change was to help schools avoid attendance penalties. A spokesman for Springfield Public Schools says it's too early to tell if the district will utilize this ruling. Stephen Hall says 4 separate teams are meeting this month to review guidance from health professionals as well as parents and staff. School plans for the fall likely won't be released, though, until the end of this month. At a press conference yesterday, Governor Asa Hutchinson shared his thoughts on in-person classes.
You know, what the president has said and what the White House has said is really consistent with what I've been saying a month ago, and if not longer, is that we're going to start school this year with in-classroom instruction with a blended environment, an option to go virtual as needed, and that's where we're going.
The governor also said that his daily update will focus on education coming up later on today. Despite rising coronavirus infections in the majority of states, President Trump is claiming he'll hold back federal funding if schools do not reopen in the fall. Laura Podesta has the latest on the plans, including what teachers and parents are saying.
The White House says students will be back inside their classrooms at the end of the summer, even if the CDC advises against it.
We don't want the guidance from CDC to be a reason why schools don't open. We want to partner with states, with local education officials, with governors, with local health officials.
President Trump went even further, threatening to defund schools that don't open, though he has little power to do so.
We want to learn in the classroom, so our schools, we want them open in the fall.
Here in New York City, the plan right now is the hybrid model, to have students return to the classroom 2 to 3 times a week and learn online in between.
Though yesterday, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos said anything short of a full reopen is unacceptable. In response, Lily Escalon-Garcia, president of the National Education Association, tweeted, "Trump and Betsy DeVos are making a mockery of the danger to our kids and want teachers to be complicit. Parents are frustrated with the choice they'll likely have to make."
The experience that I had with my daughter, she didn't do good with distant learning. My son did okay, but my daughter needs to be in the classroom with the teachers. But if it's not safe.
Teachers in Colorado say they don't know how social distancing will work if all students are invited back at once.
And when you're talking about 20 to 40 or 50 kids in the classroom, that's 750 square feet. I don't know how you keep people apart.
Vice President Mike Pence said the CDC will issue new guidance on schools next week. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Up to this point, the CDC has not taken a firm stance on returning to school. It says that students should get back inside the classroom, but virtual classes are still the better way to prevent the spread. Still ahead, it's the top 3 things you need to know if you're just waking up, including how hospitals are handling this new increase of cases we're seeing around our region and country. Stay with us, everyone.
And now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa, certified by Weather8 for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Good morning. If you're just waking up with us, we've got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect this morning. A couple of storms possible today and then again on Saturday, and then extreme heat will be the story next week. Here's that severe thunderstorm watch. It includes Greene County and counties back to the west. Now, locally, we're not seeing any of these storms yet, but they are diving through eastern Kansas this morning, starting to get into Oklahoma with the potential of strong winds. So we'll continue to watch that. But again, locally, not seeing much right now. A couple of storms starting to get into Nevada with locally heavy rain and lightning. It's 73 degrees in Springfield, 73 in Branson. It's a humid start out there. You'll have some showers and storms possible at the pool today with that high around 90 degrees. Details on weekend storm chances and extreme heat building next week coming up in a couple of minutes. Joe?
We've got a lot of coronavirus-related stories as your top things to know this morning, of course. 4 positive coronavirus cases visited several Springfield restaurants over the last 2 weeks. They include Roost Bar and Grill on West Sunshine and Houlihan's on East Republic. But the big number here, 21 new cases and 1 death were reported in Greene County yesterday. Full times and locations of those exposures are posted up on our website for you. Cases have been on the rise in Arkansas for months, and models show it's going to stay that way. The University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences predicts we'll see 20,000 new cases per day in that state by the end of September. Chancellor Dr. Cam Patterson says the fate of these numbers will become a reality if nothing changes to flatten the curve. Between mask wearing and social distancing, he says these new infection cases could drop to about 6,000 a day. And in news around the country, yesterday the White House Coronavirus Task Force says additional outbreaks in Arizona, California, and Florida are particularly worrisome. Today, New Orleans is stopping bar service in restaurants. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards said the increase in virus cases started shortly after Memorial Day weekend. And in Oklahoma, Tulsa health officials believe that President Trump's indoor rally there is partly to blame for a spike in cases there. In some news around the world for you, Australia has been praised as one of the nations that successfully fought its first coronavirus outbreak. But now another outbreak in Melbourne has prompted officials to enforce a 6-week lockdown. That's the country's second largest city. Australia has had about 9,000 COVID-19 cases and more than 100 deaths. The son of 33-year-old actress Naya Rivera was found alone on a boat yesterday. According to authorities, the former Glee actress and her son had gone swimming earlier in the week, but neither had reappeared until last night. The 4-year-old has told investigators that Rivera jumped in the water but did not return afterward. Search teams are still looking for her in that area there. We have to bring you a market watch now. Here's a look at how things finished up yesterday. The Nikkei closed up 90 points, while the Dow finished up 177, and the Nasdaq closed up 148. Stay with us when we come back. Jen is catching up with a Hy-Vee dietitian talking about food to beat the heat. Don't forget, though, during the break, to subscribe to the Daybreak in 10 podcast.
And now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa, certified by Weather8 for the most accurate forecast in the Ozarks.
Good morning. We are starting out with a severe thunderstorm watch this morning for Springfield and counties back to the west, where we've got a line of strong and severe storms that have been diving south and eastward through Kansas. Again, this goes until 10 o'clock, mainly for the threat of damaging winds. We have been finding this line move through Kansas, eastern Kansas. We found a wind report over 50 miles per hour in Chanute, and it's headed into Oklahoma this morning. We'll find some of these storms start to nip our south and west counties here shortly. It has weakened some, but it still does have that organization into a line. Not really finding any storms locally. A few storms up near Nevada with locally heavy rain and lightning along the I-49 corridor. But those storms are continuing to dive south and eastward and could impact us this morning. So we're tracking that. There's plenty of fuels out there for these storms. It's so steamy out there. You really notice that as you step out the door. Greatest threat of damaging winds will be in that yellow circle, and that's flight risk, especially this morning into midday. And we could have a couple of storms this afternoon that would be a little bit spottier with damaging winds and large hail possible. But I think the bigger threat will be earlier this morning and midday. So that line continues to dive south. I think we're clear of it by noon. A few storms possible this afternoon with temperatures up around 90. Few storms possible overnight tonight with very warm and muggy 70s. Tomorrow looks pretty dry. Maybe a storm or two on the heat and humidity, but we're looking at some really little to no rain chances tomorrow. Temperatures in the lower 90s. So we get a break from the storms tomorrow. Healthier storm chances return on Saturday as another wave comes through. That's where you've got another marginal risk headed into Saturday. So here's what to expect. That severe thunderstorm watch in effect this morning for the line of storms. Then we're looking at a few storms possible this afternoon. You're dry for the most part on Friday. A wave of storms comes in on Saturday and into Saturday night, and then the next big story is going to be extreme heat building into next week. So we'll keep the active pattern through the weekend with one more wave coming through on Saturday into Saturday night. Sunday looks dry because that high pressure starts to build and move in. You're going to have this big area of high pressure or dome of heat and humidity start to sprawl out across the U.S. next week. So that will kill rain chances and really build the heat and humidity. We're talking about highs in the middle and upper 90s, 96 degrees on Tuesday, 97 degrees on Wednesday. Factor in the humidity and you're talking about heat index values from 105 to 110 degrees, if not a little bit hotter. So we'll need to keep that in mind, likely heat advisories and heat warnings in place. If you don't have somewhere to stay cool, if you don't have air conditioning, think now of somewhere that you can go to stay cool next week. 90 degrees today with some showers and storms possible. Muggy tonight with some storms possible there tomorrow. Mostly dry, 92 degrees, sunshine, a little bit warm and sticky there. You're looking at a chance of storms on Saturday, maybe not quite as hot on Sunday. The heat starts to crank on Monday, and you'll have that extreme heat settling in by the middle of next week.
Today we have Amanda Allen joining us. Amanda is the dietitian at Hy-Vee. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Amanda, you have some fun things to show us this morning. I am looking at this popsicle you have here, and this is a homemade popsicle. You have some ideas on foods to beat the heat. I cannot stop looking at this popsicle. Take a look. It is so cute. It's a cactus.
Hold up a little bit.
Yeah. And what's the flavor? What's in it?
So I have blended 2 cups of mango, about a cup of orange juice, and a couple tablespoons of agave. So all 100% natural, and agave actually has a lower glycemic index, meaning that it's not going to cause as much of a spike in blood sugar. Also, you're getting a ton of vitamins and minerals with these homemade popsicles, where some sweet treats you're just getting empty calories, meaning they're not very nutrient dense, so you're not getting those antioxidant benefits to keep us hydrated and fueled. And even vitamin C, like that's a mango and orange juice, helps us, protects us from skin damage, actually, from the sun. So an extra bonus during summer months.
Absolutely. So not only is it delicious and something fresh, with temperatures going up now in the summer, but it's also nutritious and all of that. So it's basically juice and the agave, which you said is better than putting regular sugar in there and maybe even honey.
Yeah, you could do honey as well. Agave is going to have still a little bit lower of a glycemic index just because it has a little bit more fiber, but honey would be a good substitute too that you could do, or pure maple syrup. And those would all be great options for these. You know, a lot of times we think holidays, we think that's when we're loading up on sweets, but I find people are eating just as much sweets in the summer because we all want our ice creams and things like that.
And this is a healthy way to do that, and you can do this at home so easy. I had no idea it was just the fruit juice in there.
Yeah, any combination, even if you were wanting to avoid juice, you could do a coconut water, mix that with some strawberries, honey, lime. Any combination.
Speaking of other fruits, you have some banana here and the grapes. Tell us some ideas on how we can use those.
You bet. So I have cotton candy grapes. I know this is a favorite, especially in Springfield. So you can freeze these in the freezer and just eat them like so, or even dip them in a little bit of vanilla Greek yogurt before for some extra protein and freeze them like that. And they are so good. A big hit with kids as well. And then the bananas. I love banana and ice cream. It's a homemade ice cream that's so easy to make. You just freeze your bananas. You'll want to peel them first, of course, blend them, and then that's all you do. You can stir in any dark chocolate chips or fresh strawberries, and you'll just freeze that for a few hours, and you're ready to go.
Okay, so just frozen bananas. So you peel them first, freeze them, and then you just put that in a blender, and that's your ice cream?
Yep.
And then you just add whatever else you want in there.
You can add, your dark chocolate chips, cacao nibs. I like to add strawberries sometimes, any combination, and then freeze it for a few hours, and you're good.
Oh my gosh, those sound delicious. And the bonus is they are healthy.
Yes, they're going to be full of fiber and vitamins and minerals, whereas like I mentioned with some other sweet treats, you're not maybe getting too many vitamins or nutrients. And also when you're getting more of those nutrients, you're going to be more satisfied. So instead of wanting to go back for 4 popsicles in a day, after one sweet treat, you'll be satisfied, full, and cooled off as well.
All right, great. Amanda, thank you so much for being with us and for all those great tips for this summer. Amanda Allen, dietitian at Hy-Vee, and we'll be right back with more right here on Daybreak. Stay with us.
All right, everyone, it's time for Daybreak in 10 on Color 10. We are with you commercial-free from now until the end of the show. We start off by getting a look at your forecast first with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. We are starting out this morning with a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for Greene County and counties to the west. So western Missouri in effect with this severe thunderstorm watch going until 10 o'clock this morning. We've got a line of storms that's been diving south and eastward through Kansas this morning. We're not really finding too many storms in our area yet, but they're now south of Wichita getting into Oklahoma, and we'll find some of these storms clip our southwest counties here shortly. Finding a few of these storms over near Nevada with some locally heavy rain and lightning, but we have not had any warnings for wind. 73 degrees in Springfield right now. It is 73 degrees in Branson. A couple of showers and storms at the pool today. Even as this line exits, you could have a few spottier storms this afternoon with that high around 90 degrees. So here's your severe threat. Damaging wind risk in the yellow, slight risk to the south and west of Springfield as that line dives through the area. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Quarter-size hail. I think we're done with this line by noon, and then we'll have maybe some spottier storms possible later on today. Temperatures around 90. A few storms possible overnight tonight, and then tomorrow looks mostly dry. Maybe an isolated storm or two, but will be sunny, hot, and humid with that high around 90 degrees. So a little bit of a break tomorrow. Then storm chances return on Saturday, another marginal risk there. So here's what to expect. Severe thunderstorm watch this morning for some damaging winds possible, maybe a few storms this afternoon, and then we're mostly dry on Friday. Another wave of showers and storms by Saturday and into Saturday night, and then the story next week is going to be extreme heat building into the area. Temperatures in the middle and upper 90s by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're looking at highs up near 97 degrees. Factor in the humidity, and you're going to feel like 105 to 110 degrees or hotter. So you'll need a cool place by next week. Again, extreme heat building in. That's going to be our big story. But until then, storm chances today, and then storm chances again on Saturday. Joe?
An endangered silver advisory has been issued out of Pulaski County for an 89-year-old man. The Sheriff's Department is looking for Fred Taylor Jr. He is a white male with white hair and blue eyes. He should be wearing black-rimmed glasses and possibly overalls. Taylor went missing from Harlan Lane in St. Robert the morning of the 4th of July. He was last seen driving away from his home in a tan 2003 Dodge Dakota with the license plate number 5GV25. A $100 fine for not wearing a face covering is part of the new ordinance Springfield City Council members are voting on this Monday. We've got some details about it for you this morning. It would require anyone older than 11 to wear a face covering in public. Anyone with health conditions or who have trouble breathing are exempt. You don't have to wear one outside as long as you're 6 feet away from other people. Also, the ordinance does set up fees for violation. Steve Edwards of Cox Health says the time to put in a masking ordinance has come.
We want to be that community that does it before it's too late. There's really compelling science that if we have 60 to 70% of our community masking when appropriate, we can disrupt the rate of transmission of this disease. If we have 80%, it's better, 90% better yet.
Now, there are numerous exemptions to the ordinance. We have the full ordinance available for you to read on ozarksfirst.com. That vote, again, is coming up from council on Monday. A local group that helps low-income families is asking for mask donations to be a part of school supplies. They'll be given to students who pick them up next month. OCAC is focusing on providing masks to kids in 6 of its 10 counties. They are Barry, Christian, Dade, Dallas, Greene, and Polk. Their 4 other counties partner with other organizations that help provide them supplies. Lindsay Dumas-Bell at OCAC says the organization is getting lots of calls from people who want to help give.
Schools have not necessarily said that masks will be required, but I know for summer school currently, a lot of our schools have said that they are recommended. So we just want families to be prepared if it is the case that masks are required, and we just want kids to be safe. But if we can take the burden off the cost of a mask and school supplies for the families that we serve, that's what we want to do.
Masks of all sizes work, and donations should be made by the end of July. If you want more info to donate, you can call them at 873-3375. To some news from around the region now. Joplin City Council members approved in a 6-3 vote an ordinance which will require people to wear masks while in public. Enforcement will take an education first stance and give violators the opportunity to comply. All other offenses could result in anything from a warning up to a $50 fine. The ordinance goes into effect Saturday morning and will expire on August 18th unless extended or terminated prior to that date. And some education coverage for you. Missouri's State Board of Education has passed 2 emergency rulings. It'll allow school districts to let students attend class in person every other day, at least 2 times a week. The other times will be spent online. The change was to help schools avoid attendance penalties. A spokesman for Springfield Public Schools says it's too early to tell if the district will utilize this ruling. Teams are meeting this month to review guidance from health professionals as well as parents and staff, and SPS plans to release plans for fall until at the end of this month. At a press conference yesterday, Governor Asa Hutchinson shared his thoughts on in-person classes.
What the president has said and what the White House has said is really consistent with what I've been saying a month ago, and if not longer, is that we're going to start school this year with in-classroom instruction with a blended environment, an option to go virtual as needed. And that's where we're going.
The governor said today's daily update will also be focusing on education, so stay tuned for that. As we put crime into focus for you, 2 people are wanted in Pulaski County for first-degree murder. 21-year-old Andrew Shablow from Vienna and 19-year-old Ray Jean Howard of Dixon should be considered armed and dangerous, according to the Pulaski County prosecuting attorney. The 2 suspects are accused of allegedly shooting and killing Eugene Payette on July 4th in St. Robert. If you have any info on the crime or know where the 2 suspects are, you should contact authorities immediately. Moving on to some news from around the world for you. The mayor of Seoul, South Korea, has been reported missing, and search operations are ongoing. Authorities are looking for Park Won-soon in his neighborhood where his cell phone signal was last detected. His daughter was the one who made the missing persons call. Japan is mobilizing tens of thousands of first responders to help search and rescue efforts from flash flooding that continues to wreak havoc. So far, at least 59 people have been killed and 20 are missing after days of torrential rain in southern Japan. Back to some news around America for you. The Numbers fire in Nevada continues to grow and move northeast. Officials say the fire has grown to over 17,000 acres and is currently just 20% contained. More than 550 firefighters are working on it. Officials say 45 structures have been burned since the fire started. 1 minor injury has been reported. The cause of the fires are unknown. President Trump's financial statements will be the focus of the Supreme Court's final day of the term. The justices are expected to give opinions in a pair of cases linked to the president's banking records. At issue is whether or not the president can prevent the House of Representatives from obtaining his paperwork. Also under consideration is the president's ability to block a subpoena from a New York prosecutor who wants to view his tax returns. Lawyers for the president say the House subpoenas are, quote, unprecedented in every sense, and they're calling for temporary presidential immunity. A 17-foot-tall Confederate soldier and sailor statue was removed from its pedestal in Richmond, Virginia. Crews there also removed the Jefferson Davis Monument, including 2 plaques and sculptures on each side. A group of people, though, already pulled down that Davis statue a few weeks ago. Let's take a look at what's coming up for you now after daybreak.
Coming up, we give you a first-hand look inside a Texas ICU treating COVID-19 patients. Plus, Microsoft's president tells us about the company's new plan to give Americans free digital jobs training. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
All right, a big trend that's happening right now, if you get on Twitter, you see the news about Glee actress Naya Rivera, who has been missing for a few days now. The son of the 33-year-old was found alone on a boat yesterday. They went out on a lake several days ago. According to authorities, she and her son had gone swimming earlier in the week, but neither had really reappeared until just now when they found the son. The 4-year-old has told investigators that Rivera jumped in the water but did not return afterward. Search teams are still looking around the area for her, so that's a story that everyone needs to try and focus on and keep track of.
Do you know, I'm guessing the son was in good health? He was okay on the boat?
Son is okay, yes, but he was by himself, and
Right.
we don't really know for how long of a period of time that happened. So
Wow.
something we got to watch out for there. All right, more locally now. We're looking out at this watch that's going to go on for a few more hours today, right?
Yeah, we've got the severe thunderstorm watch going until 10. Storms diving south and east. It looks like the more intense storms are back to our west in Kansas right now. So that's at least the good part. We haven't really found anything get into our area yet. Everything is still like just on the other side of the border in Kansas.
Right. And it looks like things have shifted. At least Friday will be okay for people that want to get a jump on the weekend. It's going to be hot, right?
Yeah, I think that we will have a dry day on Friday, mostly sunny, hot, but not really finding anything in the way of storm chances there. Maybe isolated like we had the last couple of days.
That's right.
Your healthier day for some storm chances is going to be Saturday, some showers and storms possible there. Sunday, maybe not quite as hot, and then that's going to be the story next week is the heat, some of the hottest temperatures we've had so far this
Probably
year.
about mid next week, right, where that's going to come?
Yeah, I mean, they're talking air temperatures at 97 degrees, feeling like 110.
Classic July, and hopefully not so much. We don't feel that in August, but in Missouri, you're used to that at least, right?
Yeah, and if you don't have air conditioning at home, or or maybe a grandma or grandpa that doesn't, just make sure you get all that figured out this week. Know ahead of time next week, hey, it's going to be steamy.
Of course, always make sure you're okay with the water and air conditioning's working and everything else in your home and the homes of your loved ones too. That'll do it for us this morning on Daybreak, everyone. Thanks for starting your morning with us here. Don't forget, your news is always available on ozarksfirst.com.